basically, you can't wait until the 47-minute mark to start playing a game. And that's why the Blues lose, but they don't get shut out. They haven't been shut out all season. One of like 2 or 3 teams that haven't been shut out all season, so you give it to them there. But this is Guy, the Y Blues fan, and you're watching the BlueNote Fan Report post-game show. Aloha. Let's see what you got to say. Who's going to show up and say hello to the show? Tough loss. Well, no, I mean, you had a chance to win it. You had a chance to tie it. You definitely did. You stopped the shutout. So, Golf King, I would still be pissed because they basically waited until the 57-minute mark or 56.5-minute mark to start playing hockey. You can't wait till 56 minutes into a game to start playing, right? Part that I'm upset is the overall play of the game. Yeah, I mean, they allowed the Islanders to dictate the pace of the game, right? They allowed the Islanders to block all those shots. They didn't do anything to stop that. They didn't get the pucks down low. They didn't get pucks in deep. And when they were in deep, they let the Islanders win the forecheck. I mean, the Islanders won this game, right? The Blues didn't lose it. The Islanders won it much more than the Blues lost it. Okay? Both of the goals called back were right. On NHL Network, they tried to say that wasn't a high stick. However, they show one of the replays where it hits the stick and it angles down, and then it hits the crossbar before it goes in. Well, the only way it could have hit the crossbar angling down is if the stick was above the crossbar, right? So at that point, it was a high stick. It definitely was a high stick, even though they tried to say it wasn't. The fact now, if it doesn't hit the crossbar, maybe I give it. Yeah, it was a good day to miss a game. They just did not play well today at all. And now this road trip, I mean, you got to win to even it out against New Jersey tomorrow after playing a tough game today. If they're blocking shots, you've got to tic-tac-toe goals or something else. Well, I mean, they didn't get a lot of good cycle going. And then when they did get the cycle, they didn't break what the they didn't break the Islanders from their game plan. The Islanders stayed. They didn't come out. They didn't let the Blues get those type of things. And the other thing was the breakaways, odd man rushes. I think the Blues had one, right? Yeah, too little, too late. That's right. Blues looked like they were stuck in the mud for 4. No, it was more than that. It was more like 50-something minutes. Even in that third, I wasn't happy with how they played. The tic-tac-toe goals work if it worked more on a odd man break or something like that. Not so much, or they work on a good power play where you can get them after a rebound or something like that. That's when they kind of work. No, what they needed was puck control. That's what they didn't have today. They did not have puck control, right? And there was very, very, very little puck control. And that had a lot to do with it. You don't control the puck, you're not going to win a game, right? Bennington did not play bad, so do not put this loss on Bennington. Okay, this loss is not on Bennington in any way, shape, or form. That first goal, I'm sorry, he found a teeny tiny hole to get that through. Teeny tiny hole. And a lot of times that doesn't go in, right? I mean, that's a perfect shot to get it in that teeny tiny hole. Even Thomas had to swipe at it twice to get it in that teeny tiny hole. And that was a bigger hole that Sorkin left open. And then the second goal, the power play goal, no, that was a good goal. That was just a really good goal. Bennington played absolutely fine. Tomorrow, Husso will probably be in net. No issue with that. Overall, it's a bad game just because of the way that they played. They just gave they gave it to they gave the Islanders the ice. Right? To me, that's exactly what happened. They gave the Islanders the ice. And when you give the Islanders the ice, you give the opposing team the ice, you're going to lose. Right? And that's what it is to me. It was just giving the Islanders the ice. I'm more I'm trying to come up with the best way to say this. You just it's not a good road trip. Right? This is but here's the thing. I got to be careful about this. This is only the third time this season they've lost back-to-back games. Only the third time. They have a 3-game losing streak, a 2-game losing streak, and then this one. All right, and I think they had a 4-game but where they had an overtime loss in there too. But other than that, this is a good team. They can come back. I don't think it wasn't stuck in the mud. I think that the Islanders had a better game plan and stuck with it. Right? The officiating let the game get out of hand in some aspects. I do think that there was a blatant cross check right in front of the Blues net that didn't get called. Right? Blatant cross check. And it should have been called, and it didn't. So that had a lot to do with it. And Jose, how you doing, my buddy friend? By the way, if you're going to be in St. Louis on March 16th, Jose Figueres is going to be in town doing a comedy show. I don't remember where, Jose. Can you put up where you're going to be at so we can let the folks know where he's going to be at? Check out Jose. I've seen him. He's funny. He's a good guy. Let the clan be known. Hawaii Blues fan clan, go out and see Jose Figueres. Let's go. We didn't get shut out. We haven't been shut out all season. He's going to be there March 19th. I just don't remember where it is. It's like at a comic book store and a bar, right? Comic book store and a bar. I know it's on March 19th. I told him to pack me away in a suitcase, and he won't do it. All I need is just a little bit of air. Right? You can pay the extra weight. Where we at? Where we at, guys? Talk to me. Tell me what you're thinking. No, we have not. I talked about that earlier. Will Miller, welcome to the show. My name's Guy to the Hawaii Blues fan, and this is the BlueNote Fan Report. You can catch us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. On Facebook, look for Tony Ben, Guy Bensing, or the BlueNote Fan Report, if I can ever get that account fixed. We'll see. Right, it was a good rush end at the end, and it was a fluke goal. But you know what? We get it, right? That's what you got to do sometimes. I hope we beat the Devils too, Will. I really do. I want guys to really. You take this loss and you breathe it in, and you go, okay, we lost 2 in a row. We played bad against the Rangers. We kind of played bad against this one. Now fix it. Right? Yeah, Bernie says this is the game the Blues expect to win, and they just couldn't do it. And that's right. You know. The Islanders defense won this game today. The Islanders defense. Eric, how you doing, friend? Welcome to the BlueNote Fan Report. I am Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and we are on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Check us out. We're here every game day, half hour before puck drop, and then we'll do the intermission shows and the post-game show. Post-game show lasts anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how many of you are talking. Most of the games we lost were games that were trap games. Yeah. Well, I don't think this was. I don't call this a trap game as much. I think they knew what was going on. I just think that the Islanders outplayed them. Barbershop was all over the Islanders players. If a pushing match was started, I like that. They needed to play the entire game the way they played the last 3 minutes? Absolutely, they did. There was no sense of urgency in the Blues in this game. None. They never had a sense of urgency until it was too late. Right? They should have came out in the third with a sense of urgency, and they didn't. The one thing when you got to get a team. The Blues do something that I don't like, but they've done it most of the year. The first 10 minutes, they kind of sit back and they want to see what kind of game plan you got set up. Well, the Islanders set their game plan up, started blocking all kinds of shots, and then never got out of that. Because they never got out of it, the Blues could never get into their rhythm. So I give the Islanders a lot of credit for taking the Blues out of their rhythm. Right, Ryan, that's exactly what I'm saying, man. No structure, right? I'll agree with you. You know, they just never – when you're constantly getting your shots blocked, you've got to pull them out of that center or you got to keep things away. You got to get them to break their game, and they didn't, right? They just stayed with it. Or you got to bomb harder shots, right? This is where – Parayko comes into play. If Parayko is out there bombing shots from the blue line, that's going to open up. But he didn't do it. He doesn't do it. He doesn't bomb those shots, right? And we really don't have anybody else that's got that hard-ass shot like he does. Krug can fire it low. Falk can fire it low, but I don't think that they're stingers. And you need guys with stingers. You need guys that are firing hard, ready to go shots, and we're not getting that. Tomorrow against the Devils, I mean, these guys need to go home, take a hot shower, take a nap, and get ready for tomorrow, man. They just got they cannot get outplayed tomorrow, right? Here's Colton Parayko. Let's listen in to Colton Parayko.
Yeah, I thought, obviously, afternoon game, we want to have good practicing yesterday. Coming in today, too, focus obviously was get a good start. Like I mentioned, afternoon game there. I mean, that's kind of the style that they play, and they play a tough defensive style where they're on top of our forwards all the time. They're on top of us a lot. And,
absolutely, I do.
You know, when you're playing Islanders, that's the kind of game it's going to be, and it's going to be a close game, low scoring usually, and that's just kind of what we saw right from the start.
Chief was also lamenting you had 23 block shots against Rangers a couple nights ago. Tonight, the Islanders have 24. Just why the tough time getting the shots through?
Yeah, I think obviously guys are in the lane. I think we got to
that's enough. Okay, Ryan says the Devils are a young team. We can totally take advantage of that team tomorrow. But let's see how they respond from today. Yeah, that's what it's going to come down to. How do you respond, right? You never answered, right? When they got goals, you never answered. You got to answer back. And they never answered. And then when the goals get taken off the board, you got to use that as energy, and they never did. They never had that energy in this whole game. This was just not a very good, well-played game, not in any way, shape, or form. I don't know what to tell you guys. It sucked, right? This one sucked. This was not a good loss in any way, shape, or form. Neither was the loss to the Rangers. Remember, with the Rangers, you were up 3-2, and you gave up 3 goals in the third, right? You gave up 5 unanswered goals. Actually, 7 if you count the 2 that got pulled back, right? But again, you know, they were good disallowed goals. They were very good disallowed goals. Bennington absolutely was interfered with. Stick was knocked out of his hand as he was trying to make a save. That was a high stick. For me, if it doesn't hit the post, maybe. But the fact that it hits the post means that stick was above the net. I mean, because it angles down. It definitely angles down. Ryan, I did think he was comfortable and loose. I think that, you know, he played a good game. I don't see Bennington being the issue in this game at all. I really don't, guys. For me, Bennington was solid. He was strong. He was the guy that did the things that needed to get done in this game. So I do not put this on Bennington in any way, shape, or form. No, I'm okay with Bennington's play in this game. Right, I'm very good with Bennington's play in this game. You know, it simply comes down to they weren't hungry enough this game, right? I think that they looked at this team slightly lightly, and hopefully, you know, they faced the Devils once. They already know what the Devils can do, and they don't take them lightly, right? The fact that they didn't get shut out and they haven't been shut out all season is a good point. You've got to go out there and you've got to beat teams. You got to beat them early. You got to stop this 10-minute, let's see what you got, then we're going to turn it on, right? 28 shots to 20, 60 attempts to 46, all in favor of the Blues. They had 14 chances, they're 8. 0 for 2 on the power play. Neither power play looked good. 1 for 3 on the power play for the Islanders, 12 shots to 8. Offensive zone possession time, 6:27. That's not bad. They had 6 minutes. And face-off wins were 24-23 in favor of the Islanders. 50-50. 50-50 on him coming back tomorrow. But I don't think he was I don't think they missed him, to be honest. Maybe. I'm not sure. No, he didn't. He didn't get off his game. He stayed with it. He stayed quiet in the net. I really think he stayed quiet in the net, and he knew that was a high stick to begin with, and he knew he was interfered with. So I thought if any goal it was going to get him unnerved, it was the interference one, right? If they allow that would unnerve him. Right, I think that would unnerve him. But other than that, I thought he did well. The refs let the Islanders get away with murder. Right, I mean they really did. And you know, I hand it to Kostin getting in a good fight there, and I think who else got no fight? I know there were a couple of fights in that game. Kostin got in one. Who else got in one? Was it Walt? No, it wasn't Barbashev. Was it Barbie? He got it. Well, Barbie, I don't think he got in a fight, but he got a 2-minute. I know there were a couple fights. Let me see here. See if I can look up the roughing, tripping. Oh, there's only one fight. Okay. Scott Mayfield and Bozak, or Scott Mayfield and Kim Kostin for fighting. Mayfield's a St. Louis kid. Bozak for cross-check. And that one I didn't like because there was a cross-check just earlier than that didn't get called at all. You know, the Blues got 15 shots off in the third. But they only got 5 off in the second. You got to do better than that. You really got to do better than that. 3 stars. Third star was Noah Dobson. Second star was Ila Sokin. First star was Brock Nelson. I can see that. I'm okay with that. Nelson got the game winner. Yeah, okay. You know, they got lucky. They beat us. Now you move on. Where we at? Refs were atrocious. I don't know about atrocious, but they weren't good. Mikla jumped in he jumped in more than once. He had the one before the scrum where he was shoved and he did skate over but stayed out of it. Yeah. Blues discipline is questionable sometimes. Dumb penalty. I don't think they took dumb penalties in this game, right? When you see your guy sitting right in front, get cross-checked right in front of the net, and the league said we're going to crack down on that, and they don't call it, well, you can cross-check. I mean, how do you not call something the league says we're going to crack down on? That's where I kind of back off. This was that's where my question, and that's where I wish refs would come in. I'd like to know why that wasn't called. Why do you call Bozak's cross-check but not the other one that's right in front of the net? Should have been an offensive zone penalty or defensive zone penalty on the Islanders, right? That's the way I look at it, guys. Absolutely. Jose, thank you for putting your thumbs up. Really appreciate that, buddy. If you're on Facebook, I know Facebook is kind of hard right now. Yeah, when Joshua gets thrown down like that, that should have actually been. I mean, that should have been a lot more. That really should have been a misconduct, right? That should have been a game misconduct. All right, to be honest with you, I don't know why it wasn't. Berube's game plan tomorrow. I don't know. I mean, you got to come out fast, I think. Right? And Costin on Mayfield. I mean, Mayfield's a big boy, and Costin really did well. And that I was happy with Costin's play today. Right? I really was. Right? I thought Costin did well. I mean, that fight was a good one. I mean, it was fourth liners. It didn't take anybody big out, which was good. It didn't take Shen out, didn't take O'Reilly out, guys like that. Tarasenko concerned me that he was going to get in a fight. You don't want Tarasenko out. Tarasenko kind of disappeared in this game. I mean, he had some good shots, but there's times where, he did disappear, I saw. I will say that. Guy took a skating start when he cross-checked Bortz. Yeah, I seen that. Like I said, there were things that weren't called that should have been called, and then they call other things that were questionable. All right, it's the way it is sometimes. Well, guys, not a lot of you guys. There's only a few of you here. Hard to talk about a loss like this, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. Besides, man, I want a little more sleep. That game kind of lulled me to sleep. Now I'm like ready to just clunk. Well, guys, this is Guy, the Y Blues fan, saying aloha mahalo, and I'll see you all tomorrow on the BlueNote Fan Report. Aloha.